Welcome, everybody. It is Monday, March 16th, and we are going to be preparing for the PSAT/SAT over the next couple of weeks here since we don't have school. So my goal here is just to, one, keep your minds active, math relation anyways, and two, we might as well prepare for the standardized test whenever we may or may not take this test. So there's a lot of content back from even pre-algebra, algebra 1, things that people just kind of forget about as you get older. And then it's really hard to remember some of these things when it comes time to actually take that standardized test. So I'm going to focus on some basic algebra 1 skills today. And we're going to start with a problem similar to this. So if it says, if this is the problem, and then what is the value of x minus 2? What they really want you to do is solve it like you normally would. So in a regular classroom, your teacher probably would just give you this equation and say solve for x. But then they want you to take the answer and then subtract 2. So let's go through here. We're going to go ahead and distribute to get rid of the parentheses. Distribute here to get rid of the parentheses. And then notice that this is all on the same side. So we want to combine like terms. So 4x and 7x is 11x. Negative 8 minus 56 is going to be negative 64. Then we're going to get rid of minusing 64 by adding 64. And we'll get 11x is equal to 66. And then we're going to divide by 11, and we're going to get x is equal to 6. And then usually at this point, people are happy that they got their answer, and then that's it. Well, if you have time, at least to the prep work, plug that 6 back in and see if it works. So we're going to go 6 minus 2 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, 6 minus 8 is negative 2. Negative 2 times 7 is negative 14. Is 16 minus 14 equal to 2? Yes. However, the question actually asks, what is x minus 2? So now you take this answer, substitute it into the x location. We're going to say the answer now is 6 minus 2, so the actual true answer would be 4. But the thing that you have to remember is that I'm sure one of the choices is x equals 6. So you have to be very careful when you take these tests that you actually read the questions and answer what they actually asked. So another problem that's very similar to this, what if I gave you 4x minus 1/3 is equal to negative 7. And then I say, what is the value of 8x minus 2? Okay, so we are going to approach this as if this is a non-calculator problem, because remember, half the problems are non-calculator. A lot of people really get freaked out with fractions, so let me give you a little hint here. I know that if you had a calculator, you would add 1/3 to both sides and you divide by 4. But let's pretend you don't have a calculator. Well, the problem is you have this denominator of 3. So what you can do is you can get rid of all fractions in the problem by multiplying everything by 3 right now. So we're going to distribute a 3 into the entire problem. So then we're going to get 12x here. 3 times negative 1/3. Let me just help you out here a little bit because you're not going to be using a calculator. You take this number, 3, you times it by the numerator, which is negative 1. So 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Then you divide by 3, which is going to give you negative 1. And then don't forget to multiply the 3 by this number as well. Now, obviously, there are other shortcuts we're going to get to later on in our little series about SAT prep. But that would be probably the quickest way for all people to know how to multiply a whole number times a fraction without a calculator. Now we're going to continue solving, so we're going to go ahead and add 1 to both sides. So negative 21 plus 1 is negative 20. Then we're going to divide by 12. Now we're going to divide by 12 without a calculator. So what you want to do is ask yourself, what can we divide both the numerator and the denominator, the top and bottom, by, but it has to be the same number. So we could try 2, maybe 4. And even though 4 would be the better option here, let's say you divided by 2 because you didn't think about 4. And that would turn into negative 10 over 6. And then you realize, oh wait, I can still divide these both by the same number. So then you can go 2 again, and we'll get negative 5 over 3. Now, before we go on and actually answer the real question, let's double check that this is right. So we go back to the original problem. So the original problem is 4x minus a third is equal to negative 7. So we're going to go 4 times negative 5/3 minus a third, and we're wondering if that's going to equal negative 7. So we're going to multiply the top here. So that's negative 20 over 3. And we can't really divide it by 3 evenly, so we're going to leave it as a fraction here. Minus 1/3 is equal to negative 7. Let me just carry down here because I ran out of room. Remember, when you go to add fractions, we add the numerators only. So negative 20 minus 1 is negative 21, and it's over 3. We are still wondering, is this going to be equal to negative 7? So now if you divide negative 21 by 3, you get negative 7 equals negative 7. Does that, in fact, equal each other? Yes, it does. So I'm good. All right, so now I go here, and I need to answer my question. So now I'm going to go 8 times, we think the answer, well, we know the answer, is now negative 5/3 minus 2. So now we're going to multiply the top. So we get negative 40 over 3 minus 2. All right. Again, we're approaching this as a non-calculator problem. So it depends on what level or what grade you're in as to how your teacher probably told you to work with this. Maybe they told you to make this into a mixed fraction. I wouldn't. I would recommend that you turn this into a improper fraction with a common denominator. So if you multiply 3 times 1, we're going to get 3. So both the denominators should be 3. Well, this one's already 3, so let's just leave that alone. How do we make this 1 become a 3? We're going to have to multiply by 3, and then it works. But if you do that on the bottom, you have to do that on the top. So then it turns into negative 46 over 3. And if that's our answer, we're done. If we can reduce them, then we're going to reduce them. So now the question is, can you divide 46 by 3? And the answer is no. So then this is our final answer. Again, keeping in mind that if this is a multiple choice question, they might have had negative 5/3 as one of the choices, and you probably got negative 5/3, so you just said, oh, there's my answer, you circle it, and you move on without actually answering the full question. But I wanted to show you that the question we just did and this one, they're the same ideas, except for one was done with a calculator and one was done without a calculator. So you'll have to be able to do both concepts with a calculator or without. Hope you enjoyed our little mini lesson.